Hi everyone, I'm Leanne Thomas, and if you are here live with me on the Zoom, we have an amazing class today for you. This class is all about clairvoyance. We are going to piggyback on the aura work that we did in the last class. If you're here viewing this from YouTube, thank you for coming along. You can find all kinds of things that I have going on my website, which is angelichope.com. And on this YouTube channel, you'll find lots and lots of videos to support your intuitive journey and your progress with your meditation. So check out those. All right, so back to the topic at hand for today. We are piggybacking off class one, which was clairsentience, which is clear feeling or clear sensing. And today we're doing clairvoyance, and that means clear viewing or clear seeing. And the clair is a French word for clear, and then we just add to it the connective, the spiritually connected, or the intuitive, or the psychic, whatever term is comfortable for you, into the other section of it, which today would be voyance or viewing or seeing. And clairvoyance is the ability to see images, symbols, pictures, or like a movie running through your head. And when we say clear, it's through the mind's eye. It's through that intuitive lens, and it's pushed on through the imagination side of our brain when you think about the hemispheres. And I have a video that is on intuition that relates to the different parts of the brain that help to connect. And we learned about the nervous system last week when we were talking about clairsentience, and we're going to add in just a brief description of the pineal gland, which is a small pine cone shaped part of the brain right towards the very center of the brain. So if you go straight back and straight down is the pineal gland. And I also have a video on ancient resources that make mention either to the third eye or the pineal gland. They didn't have that term for it, but the reference to that part of the brain is not New Age, as it connects to internal vision, internal seeing. And it is absolutely appropriate and okay to think of your clairvoyance as the feeling of seeing something. I know it gets confusing, but that's why I started with clairsentience, because there can often be an intermeshing of senses that support one another for getting those clear messages or getting a message. And what's nice about clairvoyance is when we see a picture or an image, we can attach meaning to that. It's like developing a language with the spirit world, and that's what we'll have fun playing around with today. And I'm always saying be a fool for God, right? I'm always saying to take that leap of faith and just play into this, because it's the cultivation of that imagination side of our brain that supports the muscle being developed, if you will, of our intuitive senses. Okay, when we think about our intuition, we think about as seeing into the past, the present, or the future. And it can get a little tricky to know what's what, and it is the developing of this muscle that helps to separate that out and bring clarity into whether I'm feeling like I'm seeing into the past. I feel like I'm seeing into the present moment, and I feel like I'm seeing towards the future. And we'll play a little bit around with that as we go through things today. But remember, as with anything, we develop it over time. It's not a one and done, if you will, as far as taking this class, listening to the information, doing a little practice, and then you should be solid forever and ever, amen. It really is a go back to, and if you just play with it and have fun, you won't feel like you're getting nowhere fast. You're just having a good time with your intuition. Let's talk about the future for just a minute, because the future is not written in stone. We're creating our future based on the ever-present moment. There only ever really is the ever-present moment. We only have the past through our memories, even if it's an hour ago, remembering maybe what you had to eat today, or the memory of yesterday and what you did, or what the weather was like even. It only exists through the memory of that, and the memory is in the ever-present moment. So that's all that exists. But there is a creation that we are a part of that is steering us into a future. It's typically based or talked about, I believe this is very true, but it's talked about in two ways, through our thoughts and through our feelings or our emotions. So when I say feelings, I don't mean the way something feels on my skin. I'm talking about our emotional state of being, because I can want abundance, but if I feel like I don't have enough, it's not here in my present moment. My feelings might not match where I'm trying to take my thoughts. Feelings will override a thought, and that's leading us into the future that we created. And so that's where, when we're looking at things that we sense in the future, we have to keep that in mind, because as powerful creative beings, we can shift, adjust, or change whatever that future might look like, depending on what? Two things. Put it in the chat if you already know. If you're live here on the Zoom with me, through our thoughts and through our emotions. And so those two ways, and looking, if you're just tuned in to where is my thinking going, and how am I feeling, or where are my emotions at, then you have manifesting going on from a conscious, creative way, right? Sometimes we'll just be going through something and we don't even have self-awareness or recognize what we're feeling. Or again, I'm going to change the word feeling into emotion, but that's how we say it, right? I'm feeling this. Right? We don't say, my emotions currently are. Sounds like a weather report if we do it that way. But that is the true essence of what's happening and what we're manifesting towards. And when we have clarity on that, we can create more towards what we're desired when we spend time in both breath work and meditation to help us consciously get into the emotional state we want to be in, regardless of situation, right? We get in patterns over decades of times, for those of you that might be my age or above, and so we get in patterns of behavior of situations dictating how we feel. I can't help it, this happened. I can't help it, this person did this. But what the gurus over time have told us, everybody from Napoleon Hill to Christ, Buddha, all of them speak the same language of that circumstances don't matter. Your state of being is what matters. Now, I'm not saying it's not challenging. I'm not saying to avoid or even consider any kind of emotion as negative or bad, because there aren't any. But it is being aware of where it's at, so that if we're going towards manifesting something, abundance, love, health, whatever it is, right? Anything, that we're aware of where those emotions are, because it is absolutely appropriate to be angry at times. It is absolutely appropriate. And anger is not a negative or bad thing unless we start to turn it in on the self, or we hang on to it for extended periods of time. So that's where that self-awareness and consciousness comes into. And I suggest anybody that wants to know a little bit more about intuition and consciousness that they check out those classes that I have on my YouTube channel, and or watch them again from that new lens perhaps, or that perspective. So we know from just this today, that we're going to work from the understanding collectively and together that the future isn't written in stone, but that we can see in that direction based on what we intuitively get to through, might be your feelings, your emotions and thoughts, or perhaps someone else's, right? And so we can, anybody ever sense someone else's emotions and they haven't said a word? Maybe it's how they're standing that helps you lean into how you can tell where their emotions are at. Or maybe it's their tone. Maybe it's the way they're moving, fidgeting, you know, lack of language, choice of words. These all things carry energy that we can also have intuition on. And the idea that sometimes we don't get any language from someone is also a way that we can key in and tune into someone else's, where their state of being is, to see into that. We'll be using clairvoyance today, but it doesn't mean that you can't access however anything comes to you. That's just not really the purpose of developing, but we want to give it a go, right? We want to step into the possibilities around clairvoyance that are available to us today in this class. All right, so we know the future's not in stone. Let's talk then about individuals that are skeptics, because you'll listen perhaps to a prediction someone makes. Perhaps you've pulled cards for yourself, or you've had a dream, or you have an intuition hit. Maybe you have had a reading and then something doesn't show up or happen. It creates skepticism. There's nothing wrong with skepticism, right? We need to stay in that state of mind of being open to the possibilities and potentials, but not following down where there might be guidance or information that isn't the direction that we're wanting to manifest, right? And so that's where our personal power should be more important than any information you received, whether it's through a card, your dreams, other things that come to you, and checking in, is this the direction that's right for me? Is this how I want to see my life unfold? Some people, the moment that they get news from a doctor that something's wrong, they're planning their funerals, right? And that never has to be the truth. It's an important thing to think about skepticism, but also pushing past your own to understand the language and the symbolism, right? So we're talking about skepticism in one way of things being off or wrong. We're not going to worry about that, because we understand we have personal power and personal responsibility, right? So we're not going to get hung up on right or wrong when we're studying and developing. And we're also going to be aware that skepticism can be very healthy with our personal power, right? And which is a good thing to be. But we want to push past in an effort to grow. So if you're not trusting, is another way of being skeptical when it comes to ourself or information that we might be getting. Anybody ever feel like they're not sure they can trust that? They're not sure, they're up there in the chat if you're not sure, like sometimes you're trusting what you're getting, or for someone else if we're practicing here, or things like that. That you should pat yourself on the back, because that comes with a level of self-awareness and the desire to continue to develop. What you don't want to do, though, is let it stop you or keep you from pursuing clarity, understanding your gift and how it's unfolding. And sometimes we think we're wrong, and we aren't. As things continue to unfold, we might find that we're more right than we are wrong, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to recognize that it's okay to be wrong. We're going to recognize that we're playing and having fun. We're going to be in our own personal power every step of the way. You are the most powerful person in your life, always, every day, and every time. Okay. Since it's not written in stone, and we are manifesting every moment of every day through our what? Those two things, our thoughts and our emotions. That means that we're going to stay conscious and awake of where we're feeling and connect those feelings in a growing way to what it is that you're wanting. So those of you that are feeling brave and self-empowered, put down something that you are wanting in the chat. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, you can put something that you are wanting in that chat or in those comment boxes. And then I want you to put next to what you are wanting, or maybe in a post after it, what you are wanting, and then an emotion that makes you feel you have it. Trust, Janet says, trust more comfortably. What would be something that you might feel, like maybe validation? And validation would make you feel excited, right? Confident. So write in a word and write in a way of connecting to that word with power. So if you write one, I can help you. Yeah, feel calm. Calm is a nice way of putting it, and that will work for a lot of people. Some people will, the idea of trust, and that trust is built, will help them to feel secure. It'll help them to feel confident, brave. How about that? But an emotion, what's an emotion? Try to find an emotion word. And if you can't think of it right now, then you'll want to spend some time thinking about it. So whether you're on YouTube or here on the Zoom, I want you to think that way. All right, what we'll do now, oh, I love that. Thank you guys for sharing. Yeah, self-happiness, content, the feeling that comes with that, you might say a sense of or feeling emotionally balanced, feeling secure. There's tons of words you can attach to this. You found the meaning word for yourself. Nice job. Thanks for sharing that, those of you that are sharing. Okay, we're going to do a third eye activation. But if you are familiar with me at all, and if you're new to me here, this is an important message. In fact, it's crucial. Even when anytime we are opening up and activating our third eye, we want to bring it also and connect it into the heart. Okay? And so think about why we would do that. What does the heart speak to us through when we know the heart is open? Compassion, right? Acceptance. We can use the word love, and love is a very big word, meaning lots of different things. The heart helps to anchor things in the light. So that's part of the reason why we'll do this third eye activation and right into the heart. So all you have to do is gently close your eyes, and this will be something you can do at any time, anywhere that you're not driving. Anytime, though, that you can be somewhere where you can close your eyes. And so as your eyes are closed, you bring your gentle, focused attention to the third eye, or the space in the middle of the forehead. I like to use 2 fingers. Some people like to use 1. You choose, and place them on that space where I feel my third eye would be, somewhere on my forehead. And I just, in my head, in my mind, I say, I invite you to open with clarity and love. And then I take my 2 fingers and I move them to my heart. So if you can move yours to your heart. Just with your gentle, focused awareness and attention, bring your energy into your heart. Perhaps the fingers at the heart center or the heart chakra. Ajna. is the third eye. We take the attention there and we move it into the heart. And here at the heart, we just invite the heart to open with love and compassion, with light. And with light, we immediately just invite in truth. Sense of peace and safety always resides in the light. And so it is. We activate those two things together. That's when you're ready, you can open your eyes. That's a quick and easy way to ready yourself to play. And I guess the term would be that fool for God, right? So let's go back to aura and talk about aura and images. This is our first activity today. And so the activity is going to be, we'll start with me. And again, I'm wearing white in an effort when you're viewing me from a live standpoint. You can use your eyes, or you can take a look at me and soften your eyes as we did last week, and then just view around me, not necessarily right at me, but you can close your eyes after viewing that and then sense that you're looking right at me with your mind's eye or the imagination side of your brain. And so it's some people have the easiest time with your eyes open, and some manage this from closed eyes. So you play around a little bit with both, and then what you want to start playing with, seeing from your mind's eye, is perhaps any images or pictures that come to you. So think of things that might just show up to you that in your mind's eye is an image or a picture, or maybe you're seeing something just kind of be there that wouldn't necessarily be there, if that makes sense. And if anything's coming to you that you're playing with or you sense around me that can be thought of as an image or a picture, just type it there in the chat room. And feel free, anybody that's viewing this later on YouTube, to pop something there in the chat as well, in the comment section. But let's just see what comes up for people. Anything that's, oh, that's beautiful. I'm getting someone's typing in there, a garden. So I'm going to challenge them to push into what would be in that garden or what they sense about that garden. I love that. Someone else wrote blue. Get the feeling with the blue, because blue and even the notion of blue carries several different meanings, right? Someone else wrote light blue and white and yellow. Beautiful. Sense into, if you're seeing colors, the feeling of it, because yellow has multiple meanings too. Blue can be blue meaning sad, someone's feeling blue, or blue can mean loyal, like we think of on our flag, royal blue, right? There's different ways of perceiving the energy, the feeling that comes off of the image. But it's okay. That's my job as a teacher. But just the fact of sensing or seeing something is really powerful. And here comes some wonderful things. And yellow has a lot of meanings too. It can mean cowardly, or yellow can mean bright and sunshiny, but many other things as well. I'm just giving examples here. So as people, and even later as you're working on this, that more will come to you. But let's see if we can push past things and if you can see snippets or images. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but I wanted to give everybody a chance, unencumbered, to get what they were getting. Thank you for that. Someone put sunshiny feeling. healing light, angelic presence, wounded healer, iridescent. Nice. What images might come up for you, Melissa, that about healing light, angelic presence? Like, is there flashes or images or pictures? And we're going to practice some of these, but I wanted to see what y'all would come up with. Ocean, beach, and two kids playing and digging in the sand was too small. I love that plastic shell. That's a beautiful image there. That came to you all like almost looks like it came through as a movie, Sandra. When I see things like that as a movie, I try to take a look at as many details as I can. That's no pressure for you right now. Aw, seeing the beach too with the ocean. I love it. Just keep seeing a square. That's perfect. And so, Stacy, when you see a square, you can also feel into what that might mean for you. Or here's what I do. I'll ask, what does this mean? And I'll see if I get something. What does this mean? What does this mean to me? What could this mean? And then I'm open to receiving whatever it is. Good, you guys are playing fun. Nice job, everyone. I'm getting just about everybody. Open palms, light pouring forth. That's a beautiful image. And so from that image, what does that tell you, Melissa? What does that tell you? Now we get a red square. So that's my job as a teacher, or when I mentor others, is to say, now go further, now go further. But this in no way is meant to pressure you guys. This is just meant to be fun. It's just meant to be fun is all. Awesome. Okay, keep putting anything in there, and we're going to talk about symbols and how to create a symbol journal next. I'm just going to give some time here. Oh, that's nice. The red square, and it has a yellow outline. Symbols that we see, and I want you guys to keep putting things in here. Images that we see carry meaning and messages, right? And so if you saw an image of the sun peeking through clouds, what could that have a sense of meaning to you? It might mean something to me, and it might mean something different to you. But check in with yourself, or maybe some people put down what that would have either evoke through that image, might invoke an emotion, right? A feeling, an emotion, or a thought, or it might actually be something very specific that you get. So see if you guys can key into the sun peeking through clouds and what that picture could symbolize. Hope remains despite clouds, right? Because it's peeking out, like she's unconsciously might not have been thinking about those nuances. And there's different ways that the sun can look coming through clouds. Clearing of thoughts. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And just the idea that clearing something. See? We're going to get a little more concrete with this. And so when we get a little more concrete with words and symbology, what we're doing is, oh, I love that, Brian, new beginnings, right on. Yes, that's another way of thinking about it. I bet some of you others are like, yeah, that could definitely be. But see how it's connected? New beginnings, of clearing of thoughts for new beginnings and for hope. See, like that interconnectedness through that concept or idea. The sun peeking through clouds is a fairly iconic imagery for things such as all of this. And spirit and your own intuition and someone else's energy, say even my energy, can speak to having symbols in it that can tell you something. Sometimes I'll see dollar signs around someone. So what do you guys suspect that dollar signs can mean if you see them around someone, wherever they are? on the person, whether they're around their head, in front of their face, right in front of their heart. It doesn't matter where. What do you think it would mean? Yeah, abundance, money, right? Literal money, right? Dollar signs. Spirit can at times be that literal. I will be different places and I will see at times dollar signs around people. Especially if I see them around young people, I know they're on a path to some kind of what? Abundance, but more importantly, perhaps it can represent success, can't it? So I'm considering who I also see those symbols around. A child, dollar signs around them relates probably more to success in some way. Yeah, there you go. Diana was seeing the success as well. Let's do a couple more symbols. Let me switch it up. Let me use a word and then you give me a symbol that you see in your head. Let's do the word baby. Love, joy. Okay. You'd want to follow any kind of, if the word baby brings in the idea of love. When I think of baby, I see a child with a rattle in their hand, a diaper on, the little hair coming up. I want you to go for an image or a picture that forms in your head. So if you saw love, did you see a heart? Did you really see love or did you see a heart, right? So think that way. So what picture or image or symbol shows up? Think more symbol or symbology with this next word. Because if we can say youth when we say baby, but what are you seeing when you say youth, right? So that's where we're going in this regard. We're not moving into a feeling. If somebody said, I've got a sticker in my hand, and the sticker represents, let me say, birthday, what would it be on the sticker? What would be the image or the picture on the sticker? If I said birthday, right? So what would you say to someone? Why am I seeing maybe you'd say a birthday cake to them. Why am I seeing the image of candles on a cake? Why am I seeing, right? That's where we're opening up and we're inviting in your clairvoyance here. Why am I seeing dancing flames? Now, dancing flames would be interesting for birthday because then you would need to clarify because dancing flames, what kind of dancing flames? See, we're going for the image that spirit would give you if they wanted you to know it was somebody's birthday and you didn't know the person. How about let's use this, another word, let's use boy. What would you see? Describe it with a couple of words. What's the image that forms in your mind? Oh, I love that, Diana. People around a cake. Is it the kind that somebody's going to pop out of, Diana? I'm just kidding. What would you see if the image is a boy? A he that is whistling. So a he might look like what? Right? See, it matters to you. This is not a judgment thing, right? I might see a baby in the color blue for if I'm getting boy. I might see a child that has got pants and a t-shirt on that's holding a frog, right? That makes me think boy. These are images that come to me, but remember I've been practicing this a long time, running around the short hair idea, right? We're not judging something because we know boys can have long hair. We know that they don't always wear blue, but we're using a connection that we have through our mind, our imagination, and the pineal gland and the connection to someone's energy or the spirit world showing me images. Clairvoyance can come in either way. So take a look back at me and find one picture or image that you sense or see around me. And if you're if you're also seeing color still, that's okay too. Just tell me where the color is, right? There's the color, purple around your nose or in the area of your nose, right? Whatever it would happen to be if that's the case. Oh, and so we already, Marilyn, I'm guessing you're talking about the boy still wearing shorts and tennis shoes holding a bat? Because I'd want to know, what do you mean around me? Okay, and Melissa sees wings. And where would they be, those wings? Are they in front of me, behind me? The top part of your head? Great, Stacy, that's excellent. Then you want to think about the top part of head is downloads or information possibly coming in. Maybe, maybe not, right? And we're getting colors light purple along the left side. So let's give it a go for an image or symbology that you might see around me. An image or symbology. The symbol of, we talked about dollar signs. We talked about angel wings can be symbology, right? Sometimes people will see animals in someone else's aura or their energy field. They might see keys or a door, an image of a new house or a car. You might see a literal picture of something. Yeah. So a key. And then so Stacy, you would just take that key and what part of maybe my head, my shoulders, my chest, what part did you sense that around? I'm just pushing you guys for fun. Don't feel pressured. Just enjoy it. Like, I'm not sure, which is totally okay too. Oh, I say it at the same time. I love that. That's perfect. That's okay. That's okay. Off to the left side, like my left side over here on this side. Is that where you saw it? Yeah, unlocking the past maybe. It doesn't matter. We're not really after why it's there. We're just having fun with seeing what we get. And remember, some people need to close their eyes to get a symbol for someone. Yep. Okay. The left arm, and Kathy's putting yes that she saw, like the blue was around the left arm. And it might have given you a feeling even to go with it. Let's see if we can get like an image. Was the blue on a flag? Like I'm thinking of things that way that our hearts all around the head. Excellent. And remember, it's okay to get anything. It's literally, especially if you're talking about me, you could get anything, right? Oh, I love that. 4-leaf clover, I could use some luck. I really could use some luck. So I'm going to take that, Diana, as I'm manifesting. I'm just going to take that. 4-leaf clovers, and what do they mean to you guys, right? What an excellent symbol. Diana has got something that she should put in her journal, that 4-leaf clovers, and what do they mean? Like if I were to say to you, what's a symbol for luck? I bet some of you would get what? 4-leaf clovers. Let's just use the word luck. What else would you get? Orange light coming from behind the left shoulder. My left shoulder is this one to me. So I always like to check in because sometimes things orange behind, coming from that behind the head, right. Orange tends to be something creative or bright we think of, right? But you guys trust the feeling that it gives you. Yeah. Female face outline above left shoulder. That's excellent. Yep. again, a lot of happening here on my left side. So, and think of that in spiritually speaking or in healing circles, the left side is often thought of as feminine or the past. It doesn't have to mean that for what you're getting here, but that sometimes means that. So I like to throw those little fun things to learn in there. So did you feel when it's on the left side, those of you who got left side stuff, that it felt like it was related to the past or feminine side? Feminine side or the past. Either way, no wrong answer here. Oh, and I love that. Melissa's closing my eyes, I saw a chalkboard. To me, teacher, girl, that means so much to me, more than you know. And I know I'm teaching this class right now, but there's more to that. You're going to bring tears to my eyes, Melissa. Like, that's so valuable for me to hear. So bless your sweet heart for sharing that. Because it literally means more than you think it does. Okay. Story for another day. Let's just practice a mind game real quick, and then we're going to do another activity with a picture. Hopefully that was fun, but continue to put things in there. Or how about I do this? Go ahead and type a question into the chat room, those of you that are on Zoom. If you have one, type in a question. I mean, you might say, why would I see this around you? Like that. Oh, and I love that Janet says, feel like your mom is saying she is proud of your work. I love that so much. That's so kind of you. And we can get right into that, like that, those feelings or those images. And we don't discount that in this class. You know, the idea of, maybe I'd challenge Janet to, since we're working on clairvoyance, not that she has to do this right now, but to close her eyes and see if she can get my mom to give her an image or a symbol of something, or maybe Janet, maybe you could perhaps see some feature about my mom that would stand out to you. Not that you have to, right? It's just, that's my job as the teacher part of me likes to do. And go ahead and keep putting those things in there, guys. Let's do word associations with images or pictures, right? Not feelings or emotions. So let's do military. What would you get if I said the word military? What image, picture, symbol comes to you? Oh, I love that. Camo, flag flying, tanks. Guns. See how good you guys are at this? A salute. Planes. Yep. All of those are symbols and images. And sometimes when we get one, like uniforms, we could ask, can you show me if you were Air Force? And you might get an image. Let's try this one. How about the word yes? If I say yes, what picture, symbol, image comes to you? A thumbs up, a heart, go. I get go at times too, Kathy. Nodding. You might even feel like your own self just wanting to nod. That can be a part of clairsentience kicking in with the imagery of knowing that there's a nod. Yellow smiley face, green light. Okay, now let's try no. Because don't we sometimes want to have answers to yes or no's? A hand up for the, I think that's a head shaking would be probably for the no. A red and an X. Frowning and shaking head, yep. Stuck, like stuck in the mud, or you're just not sure, Kathy? Are you stuck on that one? The Ghostbusters sign. I love that so much. That's hilarious. A no nonsense sign. Yep, red stop sign. See how good you guys are at this? That's clairvoyance. It's not hard. And you cultivate this and you create this with your spirit team, your guides, the angels around you, or your soul, and or your intuitiveness. When I first started, I would keep a journal from everything. I had sometimes several for an image. And so I would tease them out as so they would get in competition with one another at times when I was starting, when I would get images or more than one. So military, I would often see like the idea of a uniform. And then I would ask, okay, is this Air Force? Is this, and I would see if I could see more into it like that. That's not necessarily what I mean by competitive, but I had a symbol one time I started to see a penguin. And I had another symbol for this same symbol. But what do you think it was that I was actually getting when I was seeing penguins? Or a penguin, not penguins. There weren't more than one. It was just always one penguin. Oh, that's such a good answer, marching. That wasn't it. Tuxedo, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. See how we're all different? But see, now you know that you have that. For me, it was a nun. Right? How funny was that? And I had like the nun's habit for one, and this one time I was seeing like a penguin, and I was like, and then I saw that. So sometimes you might have more than one. It's just so fun to work with spirit, and even the idea of someone else's energy, because things can show up in someone's energy. In someone's energy, I might see cupcakes for a birthday. In someone else's energy, I might see balloons when I'm connecting in with alive people or for the idea of energy, right? That kind of thing. Let's see, what's one of my favorite ones to work with? Airplane. What airplane could possibly be a symbol for an airplane? Travel, for sure. Yep, trip, travel, vacation. Yep, yep. Sometimes I'll see signs. Perfect, you guys got it. Wings of freedom, that's a great way to look at it too. You want to remember you're creating a language to get to information to help yourself or to understand what you're seeing or getting or other people. And it's fun. You create the language with your guides, your angels, and your intuitive self, right? Soaring past something. And in dreams, it can mean something slightly different than when I see it around a person in someone else's energy. I want you guys to promise yourself that you'll have fun playing with word associations. Adventure, I love that. I will see adventure with somebody carrying a butterfly net, going on an adventure. This will be an adventure for you. Sometimes I'll say to someone, yeah. Oh goodness, soaring, a monogamous relationship. That is an airplane for a Is that, Brian, am I correct about monogamy? I'm not associating those things with an airplane, but I love your thinking. That's why your symbols is your language. Oh, for a penguin. Yeah, it was a nun for me, but that's a better answer. A monogamous relationship. Like a swan, that's my symbol for that, is a swan. But a penguin is too for sure. Okay, yes. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna bring up a picture. See if we made that work. Yep, okay. Here we are with the picture. There are several people. You can see me there in the picture, right? I'm not going to necessarily say who everyone is. It doesn't necessarily matter. And I chose a picture with several people in it. And not everybody is alive that's in the picture. But, I mean, they were at the time. So, in case your eyes are... yeah, so, but you might be drawn to an individual in the picture and somebody else might be drawn to someone else. So just pick who you're drawn to and key into, you can close your eyes. You can go back to your third eye and heart activation, and see if a symbol of any kind shows up. And you don't have to know what it means. Or maybe a word comes to you. Could be any kind of word. I can't see the chat right now from where I'm at, but I will pull that up as soon as I can. Here we go. Figure that out. Right. Okay, say like, with the person wearing, the jeans, or the guy on the far right, or, say who you're getting. Who's the man hugging you is gentle and kind? I would say that was very true. Artist, musician, which one would you say was that? Cooking lady on the end. She would have liked to have heard that. She would have liked to have heard that. She wasn't the greatest cook in the world, but there was stuff that we all loved. There was family stuff that we all loved, for sure. Oh, I love that, kindness. Let me see if I'm just curious with Melissa who she was thinking was the artist or musician, and what was your symbol? Like you would say, the lady in the red skirt saw a symbol of, okay, Diana says, drawn to the lady in the skirt, okay, and just say what the symbol is, and don't judge it. Lady on the left, feeling happy times and lots of loves, like an arm hugging all of you from her. Yep, love that. That is truer than true. Windows in a house. Okay. Windows in a house. Okay. Glass windows. I love that. Saw a paint and an instrument for that. For who though? I'm not sure. Did I miss it, Melissa? I apologize. The one next to you, the guy or the girl? The man next to you, guy, I'm slow. Yeah, plays the guitar. Yep, plays the guitar. So that would be accurate. I don't know how recently, but this is something very true. So nailed it. That's a good one. You guys all did. I saw paint and then instrument. That's a great way for your connection to their energy, right? To get you into seeing things about them. You guys are all right on target. New keeps coming up for her. That would be very true. Yep, she did move, and so windows in a house and the new for her, that all those things would be very true. Yep. Gosh, everybody's awesome. Yep. I gotta keep making sure I'm see if there's any kind of an image. Sometimes we are gonna get feelings. We'll take it all here today, guys. Remember, this is your being fun. You're playing with your imagination. There's no getting it wrong. There's no wrong answer that you could put here in the chat with anything. Nobody wants to tell me I'm going to win the lottery. Something with brother. I missed it up earlier. I'm sorry that I missed that, Melissa. Brother. Let's see. Well, the man right next to me is my son, and he does have a brother, just not from me. So there you go. I'm not getting anything else. Come on, guys. Images. Keep trying. Keep trying. Let me go through this. Now, Sandra, reach for an image, if you can, a symbol. The symbol for something. Stop sign is a symbol for something. Heart's a symbol for something. For me, elephants symbolize something, right? See if there's more images that you can get. I don't know why Spirit's just tapping on me to tell Sandra to try again. Not try again, just keep going. Feeling of unfinished business with woman on the far left. And then see if you can get a symbol about what that might be. You don't have to, you guys. That's just kind of my teacher job in me kind of thing. Oh, the man on the outside is not as connected. Let's see if I'm reading that right. The man on the outside is not as connected. A rock. Is not as connected. A rock. I could see what you're saying. Yeah, somebody that's maybe, I think I got that. Symbol of a home. Makes sense. Yeah. House, home, making a home. Yeah. I think there's a symbol in the home that is very meaningful to me in the present moment, that she is tasked. She's tasked. She's on the job for helping me work with. So Sandra, that's really interesting. Hourglass is emptying. Okay, running out of time. Maybe that means. I'm just throwing things at you guys as I say this, and it might be more annoying than helpful. I'm dancing the man next to you. Okay, I love that. That's something we definitely did when he was little. The young lady is being pulled away. Yep, that is true. Poof, and she was gone. Yep. Not, she's alive still though. But yeah. When I was seeing the word safe with the man on the right, I was also seeing a hug, warm arms. Yeah, the one right next to me, to my right. I mean, no, that would be my left in the picture, but in the picture, the man, yeah, my son for sure, yeah. Oh, all the way on the right. Okay. Yep. That makes a lot of sense. I'm just making sure I didn't miss something. I apologize, you guys, if I did. But you can see now how you were probably drawn to something, right? So let's talk about that for a moment. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. And so, I mean, obviously, guys, that was really well done. Like everybody was just playing and having fun and giving it a go. The point is too, I want you to think about who you were drawn to, and then the idea of getting images, and were you being your own skeptic? Right? I mean, I'm sure some of you are like, yeah, I think that was getting in my head. Like, why would I see that? It doesn't make sense. That happens quite a bit. And if it even feels random, even if someone doesn't know something in that moment, it's you give what you get, you don't get upset. Because that helps you to build that trust that we were talking about, because you guys are your own worst skeptics, right? And so knowing that you were getting definitely big hits on something, like Melissa's saying here, she was drawn to my son. No, most people, if they didn't know that that was my son, wouldn't say that that was my son. But that's literally the child that came from within me, from my cells to him. I was drawn to your son, and I do question why I get the image, but you're helping me to trust it, right? But also, you have to be that fool for God. You have to put yourself in a space. We don't always know why in the moment. I do that, and I'll have people be like, no, I don't know. And I'll be like, I don't know either. I just have to give you what I'm getting, right? And the nudges that you're getting, or the being pulled in certain ways, is that part of that process to help you understand, trust, build and develop, and get yourself strengthening those muscles. And we're just having fun. And look how good that was. And yeah, it can feel very random, but that's where the language is being built. For some of you might have never done this before. Um, Kathy, I think I missed something up here where you put my keyboard. And so if I missed something that you were saying, but I know that Tyler, when he was little, my son, his first instrument that he started to play was the piano. And then he moved on to the guitar, to the guitar. So if that even makes sense um, for you with what you were getting. But my mom only played the piano when she was very little, and me very little. I didn't really stick with it, which did not make anybody in my family happy. They all expected me to play the piano. I was not going to. All right, I love that. So let's get some questions going about what you saw or why you saw that. Did she teach piano? My mom did not teach piano, but I do have an aunt. My Aunt Doris was a teacher, a classroom teacher, and taught piano and played it in our church. So it is in the family, but not my mom per se. Stop typing, keyboard is broken. Oh, okay. Sorry. Is yours broken? Okay. Who is the young lady? That's a great question, and I will share a little bit more after we're not live, so I can share more then. Awesome, though. Questions but that's a great question, and I will tell you when we're not recording. I just want some people that are listening might also, you guys might have questions that were in their heads. So that's why I want to say that. I keep seeing you, meaning me, cutting your hair. Yeah, I mean, that's possible at some point. I don't have plans right now, but it has happened in the past. That is not out of the question. For sure, Marilyn, that's not out of the question. So, yep. Questions about how this works or anything in case people have got like how to see, how to move into it further, how to take it to the next level. So my question for Marilyn might be, if I was mentoring her in some way, or in this moment, she can take this to herself, cutting her hair, and she might want to look for clues down the road to see when that could happen, or maybe she's cueing into something from the past when I did and would pick up on something, or, so I would challenge her to ask her brain, her mind, her imagination, what does this mean? What is this telling me? That kind of thing. All right, I think this is a good point to stop the recording. So if you are here on Zoom with me, don't go anywhere just yet. And if you have been on YouTube, you can always join us live. Go to my website and you can get free links to my meditation and these classes there. So thank you very much, and let's end the recording. And just please like and subscribe to the channel. It's super helpful, and leave a comment there as well.